Hello everyone. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to monitor a specific file. Let's say monitoring a file. There's also another word which is called as file auditing, which is a fancy word for monitoring. So anyone who's going to use that file or make some changes in the file. So by default, it's going to be get recorded in the file called as audit.log under the location var/log in CentOS, but in Debian this factor is not available. So in order to access this, you have to install the service called as audit. So once you're in Debian, once you're done it, and then anything, the process that I'm going to follow is going to be very similar to it. So let's go. If you guys prefer reading, I'll give you the link in the description of this video, and if you guys want all the code that I'm typing, it'll always be ready and you guys to look at in my GitHub. So you guys can always check the links, the description of my Git. So you guys can see the links on all the read through that I've done in that link. So let's go, guys. So this is the instance that I'm using, is CentOS version 7. Just a disclaimer, so if you guys using any other versions of the Linux, let's say Debian or Ubuntu or Debian 10, just any of the other distributions, I would highly recommend doing the prerequisites, that is by installing Audit. You can basically go sudo pt so you guys can go sudo apt install audit d. So this basically downloads it. So what this does is, like in CentOS by default, I'll just go into super user. So by default, you guys can see here, there is a folder called audit d. In the other versions of the Linux, say Debian 10, this folder is not going to be available. So once you download, as I said before, the audit d service, so it's going to be available. So if you guys done that in the Debian, so other process that I'm going to follow is going to be fairly similar. So let's go. So the thing we want to progress is that we want to achieve per se is that file monitoring. Let's say I have a file, so you want to record what I'm going to do, who's going to do that to that file. So let's say if I'm a root user, I'm going to configure it or going to do some changes. So we want that to be located. So by default, some logs and services will be getting logged into the audit.log file. So if you want, let's say per se for our custom folders, let's say I'm going to make a directory like AR saying Orion, and inside that the Orion, I'm going to go in Nano. I don't think Nano will be there in CentOS. So Nano is very comfortable for me, so I use Nano a lot of time, and I'm a beginner in this stuff, so bear with me. So I'm gonna go nano name dot txt or say log, whatever it is. See, let's say pass, meaning that password file. So let's get enter. So let's just type some random stuff saying that we're going to save the file. So by default, the file which you're going to see is not going to be, any changes that I'm going to do to this file is not going to be logged on into the audit.log file. So what we should do is basically saying that audit ctl -w and the path to the folder or the file which you want to do. Our path is So our path is var/log/orion. And then P stands for permissions. We're going to give a permission to anyone who's doing a write or append. And then K stands for key name. So the next phrase which I'm going to use is going to be something that makes us easier to search in a big audit log file, because audit log basically contains everything that's going on in the backend. So I'm going to give password here. So now I have added it. You guys can before you can also check if there is some custom auditing rules inside by doing so. If you guys can see, our custom audit rule which we have wrote here is added. So we could do a service restart. So we restarted, let's say. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and make some change which will be getting logged into the audit.log file. So to do that, we can search if any configuration is made now. So as of now, I didn't do any stuff. I didn't go inside, but I am inside it, but I didn't do any configuration changes. So let's do some changes in the file. Sorry, the file name was password. So we have hello, I'm good. So I'm going to save the file and check if it is logged on into the audit.log. So before that, you guys have to check for important thing is that you have to check if there's a backlog is greater than 8K. So basically doing this sudo ctl-s, and if you guys see here, the backlog is greater than 8000, which is great. So now if we check for the stuff which is there's another code, you can search for the key name. So we have specified password here. So let's say you want to search for that particular keyword in the entries of the audit.log file. So here you search hyphen the keyword hyphen K, I mean, and then the keyword that you've given. So in my case, we have changed. So we went in and then just changed this is the key that we have mentioned here. So if you this is just an entry showing that this has been changed, but if you see the audit log itself, there will be lots of stuff, which meaning that before this there will be a line called type path is equal to the path that we have accessed, meaning that the file that we have accessed. So yeah, so I'll just show you guys that too. So if you guys see, there's lots of stuff here. There's overall 325 lines here. So if you guys can go and see at the end of this page, is going to be similar stuff saying that. See, as you can see here, like I said, user logged in, meaning that this will corresponds to UID corresponds to the root user, and saying that the configuration change has been made. password saying that our file has been modified. So this is how you add file auditing or file monitoring for your custom files. But however, there is a catch here. Let's say I'm rebooting the system, or you're shutting down or coming tomorrow. So let's say you rebooted it, it's going to, and you shut down it, and you're just going to come tomorrow and going to see. If you use audit.ctl to add a custom file rule or folder auditing rule, so also auditing is a fancy name, but basically it means monitoring. So if you want to, for these rules aren't going to be persistent. So what I would do is that I'll go into the etc. I'll just show you guys. So now I'll just go. So audit.ctl means that is there any custom rules that I've added. So L means list. So if I enter this, the custom rule which we have created earlier is not going to show up. So okay, so I must be able to, oh yeah, classic me. My user now. So if I run this, it's going to show that there is no rules, meaning that, see, that is not persistent basically. So what we want to do is that go to cd ect audit rules.d, and then you're going to configure in this file audit.rules. So what we're going to do here is add that exact rule here. So if you see earlier, we would have used audit.ctl -w. So ignoring the audit.ctl, we're going to do the exact same. So saying that w, we're going to add that the custom path which our file or the folder which you need to monitor, where log orion. So this is the folder where my pass.txt is there, similar stuff. Next comes the permission, writable and append, and then comes the keyword which we want to give password. And we're going to save the file and close it. Now we're going to restart the service. So this is okay. So now let's just check if it's added there. So here we have it. So this is going to be persistent. So now if you go and change around and check, so now if I reboot, so this audit rules are going to be persistent. So meaning that even if I reboot, the rules are going to be changed. I'll just fast forward it. Hopefully it must be there, and it will be there. So that's it, guys. Thank you. If you guys have any help or any queries, you guys can leave a comment or you can send me a mail. Thank you, guys.